Good morning and welcome to Facebook Live. We're doing new topic today on self-care, and this ties in with what I talked about in my radio interview Tuesday night with the Mommy Jammies group. So if you haven't seen that, I'll put the link to that in the resources in the show notes. And I thought it was important because it was put your oxygen mask on first, was the entire topic for the day. So if this is your first time joining us, my name is Colleen Hammond. I am a former on-camera meteorologist for the Weather Channel, and for the past 30 years I've taken the knowledge that I learned in all those years modeling and acting and working in television, and I have been an image consultant and a stylist. And I work with everybody from moms all the way up to politicians. So I enjoy sharing my knowledge and helping women look and feel pretty every single solitary day. Good morning, Christian, Dominic, Pam, and Rex. Good to see you at Black Coffee. Hey, Christian, how you doing this morning? So hopefully this topic appeals to you, and if you think self-care is important and being good to yourself is important, feel free to like and share this video and invite others to come and join us this morning. Number one, good morning, Barbara Ann. Number one, how is everybody this morning? I hope everybody is doing great. We have some storms moving through, and whenever the storms come in, my mold starts acting up, and so I start getting joint aches and pains, and I feel a little old. So these are the days that I got some weather moving in and kind of feel, I can feel it for sure. Also, I'm going to try something new today. If I lose track of comments up here on my phone, Mark's not sleeping at all, says Christian. Hey, Ashley, how you doing? Nicole, yeah, you see black and hear nothing? Try refreshing. Well, I can't tell her if she can't hear me. Can somebody tell her to refresh her page? Hey, Sheila, you made it live. I'm telling you, you're in Carrollton, I think, right? We really do need to get together face to face. Top of the morning to you, Karen. So, Michael, you're back. Are you back from your grand adventures? I loved watching all your pictures and seeing what you were doing when you were like chasing lions and stuff. Where were you? Kenya, I think you were. Good morning, sister friend. My sister Sherry is here from Florida. Mark's joining us as well. So this time, if I lose track on my phone of comments, I actually have my iPad this time. So if I can, the other people can see that you're watching too. That's kind of funny. So if I lose track of things, I'll be able to look down, grab my my iPad and catch up on things. So does everybody have, good morning, Vicki. Hey, Melissa. Does everybody have their coffee? Got your tea? Got your smoothie? Ready for the topic of the day? So nice to have you here, Vicki. I actually was going to try something new this morning. I have one of these little lenses that you can put on over the top. It's just a little clip-on lens. A little. It's kind of large. It's one of those lenses that you can put on over the top of the lens on your phone, you know, on my iPhone. And it actually has a much nicer picture, and it gives a better view of the room, which means I have to clean more. Vicky in Australia says, good day. We actually have, there's a couple people that watch us from Melbourne. I can't remember where you are in Australia. It's the bride. Oh, Yana, hi. Now, where are you, here in the States, Yana, or are you back over in Europe now? Hey, good morning, Becca. Hope you have your drinks. Yeah, well, you know, the only reason I didn't, oh, Rex has got his chocolate almonds again. And you said your name, and I can't remember. Is it Brendan or Brandon? I can't remember. I'm sorry. Anne's joining us from the West Coast out in San Francisco. Oh, Outback. Wow. I was going to say I have a lot of people that I know from Melbourne, and I would hook y'all up. Gosh, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yeah, so the reason I didn't use the lens is because of where it's located on my phone. It would cover up all your comments because it's so big. So, I mean, it's, you know, a good couple inches around. Brandon, thank you. So that's the only reason I didn't use the lens, but I will be switching over hopefully next week when we start the self-confidence series. I'll be switching over to using the studio system so that I would have I'll have a broader picture. I'll be able to use the switching and whatnot. You know, I haven't been yet. I know so many people in Melbourne, Vicky, that I really, really do need to get down under. I really have to come down and visit. Oh, Sarah, great. I'm glad you oh, you got your coffee and your babies. So Sarah's all set with coffee and babies. Michelle's checking in from Southwest Ontario again. I don't remember. Did you tell me? Is it near London or where? Hey, T. Good, Andrea. I'm glad you're here. So Brendan is the same name. Brendan. I'll slur over the top of it in case I forget, because sometimes I forget people's names. Also, we did something different. I don't know if you just noticed the light changed. I forgot. I had this monitor here so that I could monitor questions here, and if too many questions came up, I could look at my computer monitor, but it was given this weird light. And so now that that's gone away, hopefully the lighting is better here on me and on the comments. Oops, and I lost comments over there. So anyway, all right, so the topic for today is self-care. What I was talking about Tuesday night in the interview that I did for Mommy Jammies, hey, good morning, Maureen, was putting your oxygen mask on first, because you can't give from an empty cup. So if your cup is empty, you have nothing left to give. So what you have to do is fill your cup first, and then the overflow and the excess is what you give to others. So this is why that you need to do self-care. And often as moms, I think moms have a bigger problem with this, and women in general have a bigger problem with this, is we tend to be more service-oriented. Markdale, close to the Georgian Bay. Okay. My sister Sherry says the light gives me a halo glow. Hey, I'm working on my own halo, but in the meantime, I'll take another halo if I can get it. Actually, I do have I have a hair light on up over here, so it gives me a little bit of backlighting and a hair light. Anyway, work too long in television. It's all these different things that I want to make sure I have to make sure it's done properly. So that's why the airlines tell you to put your oxygen mask on first, because you're no good to other people around you unless you're breathing, unless you're alive, unless you're healthy, unless you are energized and able to help. So often in life we focus on service, or we focus on giving, and when we neglect ourselves. So, and we may not realize that we're doing it oftentimes, but one of the things, and I'll get to this in the top 10 tips, is one of the things that I get from women all the time is they're very self-critical. Well, that's part of self-care and recognizing the gifts that God has given you. So tip number 1, stop comparing. I'm going to move my list up because I have it all written down so I don't forget. No, tip number 1 is stop comparing. We tend, especially Netherlands, thank you. Good morning, Tom. We tend, especially if we're on Facebook. And remember how I said in one of the earlier videos that I did, is literally just outside this frame, there's like a mess over here, there's a mess over there, there's a mess probably behind me on the floor. Yeah, see, there's that box. I just slid it out of the way. So we tend to try to project our best self always, which ties into yesterday's about, looking your best, and do you care what other people think, and when you leave the house. So we do try, in general, to portray our best. We brush our teeth, we comb our hair, so when we get on Facebook, do we show our mess, or do we make sure that whatever's in our frame is presentable to other people? So when we're looking at other people's stuff, it's important to remember that behind every picture is a backstory. I wrote an article for a magazine once talking about a photograph that it was my husband, myself, and our oldest son, Ian, when he was first born. And that you didn't know it by the picture, but everything that had happened that day, and our marriage was in a flux, and we had had a fight earlier in the day. But in that picture, we're all smiling and happy, and, everything looks great. And also what I talked about was when I was working in television. Good morning, Carrie. When I was working in television, that from the outside looking in, my life was like the sprinkled donut, the glazed donut that's got the sprinkles on top. It was just really pretty to look at, but there was a hole in the middle because there was a lot of things that were missing in my life. Yeah, thanks, Vicki. Give those hearts and thumbs up. Make sure you share too. So don't compare yourself to others because you don't know what's going on in their life. You don't know what's happening just outside the frame. Everything looks great, but in the home or in people's personal lives, there's so many people. I remember there was a friend of my husband Dennis's when we lived in Georgia that we had gone out with him the night before. We played on a softball league together, and that night he left and he went home and he committed suicide. We didn't know the whole night, and then you beat yourself up. What did I miss the signs? What did I miss? What was happening that I missed? Because there's so many things going on in people's lives that we don't know about. So don't compare. The only person you can compare yourself to is the person in the mirror. Are you a better person today than you were yesterday? Or are you at least trying to be a better person? That's the only person you should compare yourself. Yeah, oh, and the other thing I wrote down is everyone has their own journey. Our journey is not someone else's journey. So focus on where you are. Everyone has a gift. Everyone has a reason for being here. Why are you here today? What are you supposed to do today? I remember coming back at church, and I saw a man praying, and he, and I try to leave people alone when they're praying. And for some reason, something just moved in my heart just to reach out and squeeze him on the shoulder. This was years and years. I mean, this was probably 20, 30 years ago. And then I was embarrassed. I thought, oh my gosh, I just, and he kind of was startled and he looked up at me. And then he just kind of scowled a little bit, and then he went back down to his prayers. And I was so embarrassed. I felt so bad. Let me say, oh, good morning, Janet. Melissa says there's a huge problem in today's society with everyone being so public with social media. Yeah, and the publicity that they're giving themselves isn't always honest at either. Good morning, Christina. Thanks for joining us. So we're talking about self-care. We had a few people join us, and we're talking about self-care. And number one was stop comparing. Stop complaining comes later. Stop comparing ourselves to other. Number two, accept. Just accept where you are in your life. Sometimes, me being a type A, ENTJ, control freak, you try to control everything and you can't control everything. And you start looking at the things that are going on, and sometimes we can be very self-critical and beat ourselves up. I should have done this, I should have done that. Oh, let me finish the story about the gentleman where I squeezed his shoulder. Anyway, later, maybe a year, no, maybe it wasn't a year later, it was probably a few months later. Anyway, he came up to me after church one day and we just started talking, and I didn't recognize him, frankly. I kind of did, but I was a little embarrassed. Oh, it's your day off, Janet. Good. I'm glad you're here for us. Or here with us. So anyway, the gentleman that I had squeezed his shoulder, he came up to me. We were talking after church, and he said, do you remember that one day that you squeezed me on the shoulder? I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your prayers. He said, I was praying at that moment. I was praying that nobody cares anymore. I'm kneeling in church with a bunch of people that are supposed to be Christians and supposed to be loving each other, and nobody talks to me. Nobody knows I'm here. And, I think he had lost his wife. I forget the exact details because it was so long ago. And he had asked, God, please just, give me some sort of sign. Just give me some sort of sign that there is some good left in the world. And he said, it was right then that you squeezed my shoulder. So you never know. Yana says, and then miraculously, I heard myself saying that yesterday. Wow. Good morning, Maria. Thanks for your wonderful morning chat. Thanks for being here. It wouldn't be the same without all of you joining in. Jocelyn's here from Alberta. So you never know what effect a squeeze on the shoulder, a smile given to somebody. Somebody told me that once they were taking their screaming toddlers out of church, and they were new at our church at the time. And so and a couple of people were like, well, they had been sitting in the middle of the pew. So they had people on this side and people on the other side, right? And so it was difficult for her to get out. So she kind of waited, and, you got that at our church. Our pastor has said it's like 7 seconds. If your child fusses for 7 seconds or so, then you need to get them out. If they're like, wah, and then they settle back down, then, they can stay. So she was kind of dealing with so she went to finally works her way out. And I saw, we all have kind of the person that's the church lady, that's very disapproving. And she was sitting kind of a couple of rows in front of me, and then this young couple with the young children were sitting a couple of rows in front of them. And I just knew the church lady was going to scowl, you know. So I saw the gal leaving, and she's struggling with the babies, you know, type of thing. And I looked up, and I just gave her a wink and a smile. And she told me later, she said, you know, there's a lady, it was a couple of rows in front of you. I felt so bad anyway, but then she was kind of like giving me the disapproving look. And I thought, yeah, I know who that was. And she goes, then I saw your smile, and I thought, oh, good, maybe this is a play. A squeeze on the shoulder, a smile. It doesn't have to be, and these two examples are from church, but there could be people that you run into in a parking lot, the cashier, the grocery store. Everybody's looking for a little bit of approval and some sunshine. And as somebody said earlier, there just seems to be a lot of negativity in the world. So let's be that person that brings some smiles and positivity and some joy into other people's lives, because it seems to be so lacking. So number one, stop comparing ourselves. Number two, accept, because you can't control everything. Stop beating yourself up. Just focus on what you can do right now. Kind of like what I was talking about the other day with the 5 things I learned from my cancer diagnosis. You focus on the things that you can do right now. Number 3, gratitude. 3 things that you can be grateful for in the morning to start your day. 3 things at night that you can end the day with. Kind of take a deep breath. And that was the quote that kind of got this whole thing going. The quote for today that, you know, the most important part of the day is that between those 2 deep breaths, that moment between 2 deep breaths, where you can take a deep breath, just oxygenate for a minute, focus on 3 things that you can be grateful for, and do that morning and night. Oh, that's right. Oh, I'm glad I wrote these things down. It's difficult for the brain to tell the difference between what's real and what you're thinking about. So using this as an example, that when you think back, don't do this now because we're trying to be positive. If you think back to a time that in your life that you did something and then you were super embarrassed and you blushed. When you think about that moment again, you experience those feelings again, and you might even blush again. So the brain doesn't know the difference between what you're imagining, what you're thinking about, and what's happening to you at this moment. That's the power of our thoughts. Our thoughts will release hormones and release things into our bloodstream simply by what we're thinking. So what thoughts are you thinking? When you think negative thoughts, you release negative toxins into your bloodstream. When you're thinking about positive things, when you're focusing on gratitude, when you're thinking about the blessings in your life, you release these serotonin and the dopamine and the endorphins into your bloodstream. Let me see. Pam says, that's where I am with every changing situation. Your daughter's kidney transplant. Yeah. Your faith is bigger than the illness. God is bigger. Very, very true. So gratitude, also focusing on gratitude increases self-esteem, increases your energy, and strengthens your heart, your immune system, and decreases blood pressure. So focusing on gratitude and trying to focus on 3 new things a day. New things, not the same things. I mean, it's nice to be grateful for the same things over and over again. You want to be grateful for many things in our lives, but trying to come up with new things on a daily basis. Sarah says, I have a 2-year-old and a 9-month-old. Rambunctious boys to the mass, very quiet, very solemn, very beautiful. And you appreciate how people are around you. That's great. Carrie, great reminders. Oh, Sheila, the video's laggy. Gonna have to watch the recorded version. Okay, watch the recorded version. We'll talk to you. Seriously, Sheila, send me an email. Let's get together. Is anybody else having laggy issues? I've had serious internet problems. So I think I'm on my wireless with my phone. But sometimes I just shut the wireless off and connect right to the internet. So self-care tips. Stop. Number 1, stop comparing. Number 2, accept. Number 3 is gratitude. Number 4, giving compliments to others. When you focus on other people and giving compliments to other people, what that does for you, first of all, it trains you to look for gratitude. But what it does for you is it releases those endorphins in your bloodstream. When you compliment others, it's almost like giving a compliment to yourself. Again, your brain is so powerful, but it's kind of silly. It doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. So it doesn't look like Your brain doesn't look out and see what's real or imagined. So sometimes when you're giving compliments to others, you receive the same endorphins into your bloodstream as if people are complimenting you. So another reason it's so important to focus on the positive is what it does for your self-care. Number 5, giving hugs. Giving hugs, and the science has shown 20-second hugs. Giving a hug releases oxytocin into your bloodstream. And oxytocin is the bonding chemical, the cuddle hormone. So when it's a 20-second hug that releases the oxytocin. Now, some people aren't touchers. They're not physical. They don't like. And so and it goes back to the 5 love languages. So finding out, they also see that those type of people that are, for whatever reason, don't prefer touch, they gift giving or gift receiving, so giving a gift. And again, it doesn't have to be a huge gift, right? Hugs totally rock, says Vicky. Absolutely. And science has said 8 hugs a day. 8 hugs a day at 20 seconds. It could be hugging a child, it could be hugging your spouse, it could be hugging a friend. Don't hug strangers. That might be a little weird. But 8 hugs a day. I'm going to get a sip of coffee here. 8 hugs a day, releasing oxytocin in 20 seconds. The next one is laughter. Number 6, laughter. Laughter releases endorphins. Endorphins has been shown to relieve anxiety, depression, all sorts of good things. Vanilla and lavender, if you're smelling good things, that's kind of the same as laughter. Vanilla and lavender, what do I use? Oh, good, I have it sitting right here. This is I love essential oils. So this is called, can you see it? Serenity. Oh, and it's probably backwards because Facebook Live goes backwards. So that's doTERRA. But anyway, it says Serenity. You probably can't see it. But this is a combination. It's a blend, and it has vanilla and lavender in it. Virtual hugs are good too. I'm sending virtual hugs to everybody that's on right now. The aromatherapy is very powerful as well, and those smells can release, because what they do is they go up into your nasal passages, into the olfactory nerves, and they will release these endorphins and things into your bloodstream as well. So good positive smells. Have a great day at work, Christine, and we'll catch up later. Also peppermint. Do I have peppermint? Yeah, I got peppermint around here too. I got essential oils lying all over the place. Peppermint will decrease your appetite, gives you more energy, gives you clarity. It can relieve headaches. You put a little spot on the top of your head, and it can release energy too. And I'll put the links. My daughter is actually a rep for doTERRA, so that's why we have them all over the place. So I'll put some links down below if you want to look into those as well. Peppermint reduces appetite. Okay, so laughter. And laughter is so good. As far as healing, thank God for coffee with Colleen. Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate that. Let's see, Anna Marina just started using doTERRA. Excellent. Good to know. Thanks for joining us, Carla, too. So laughter is really important for releasing those healing hormones, the endorphins. So I remember when my mom was diagnosed with cancer earlier in the year, I said, get some old I Love Lucy episodes, because she loved I Love Lucy. I remember coming home from school, and at night she'd be watching I Love Lucy, and we'd be in bed, and I'd just hear her laughing. So I said, get some old I Love Lucy episodes. I think my brother actually bought her the entire series. And just sit and laugh. Good morning, Carrie Ann. Oh, thanks. She says I look lovely. I appreciate you coming. Peppermint's great, Vicky says, too, about settling an upset stomach. I love peppermint. Peppermint, lavender, and lemon are like the 3 essentials. 3 essential oils that are essential that you can just keep on hand. So anyway, laughter. Number 7, remembering a past achievement. So sometimes, again, we're so hard on ourselves. We're more critical of ourselves than other people are critical of us. So to focus on a past achievement, a past success, a past time in our life where everything just kind of came together. It was like, boom, perfect time. Again, the brain doesn't know the difference between the real and the imagined. So by imagining that, just close your eyes and put yourself back in that moment and relive it as much as you can, you'll release all the same excitement and the hormones and the energy. And it reminds you, because again, we focus on the negative, and it takes 10 positives to overcome one negative. So if we can focus back on that one great achievement in our life, to focus on more positive things, and it releases all those wonderful chemicals in our body. Oh, Victoria, the best part of waking up is Colleen in my coffee cup. That's so cute. It was somebody posted the other day, my friend Jason said the worst part of waking up was Folgers in his cup, because he's a real coffee aficionado. So I just had that song, that old Folgers song in my head. So anyway, so remembering that past achievement releases the serotonin into your bloodstream as well. That's so hard, trying to remember. See, you're too hard on yourself, Carrie. If you have a difficult time, then all of these tips are going to be really important to you. And after I'll put it in the resources into the show notes after I post this recording online, is these top 10 tips. Number 8, fix yourself a healthy meal. Good morning, Heather. Thanks for joining us. We're talking about self-care this morning. Fix yourself a healthy meal. What do we normally do when we're feeling depressed? Some memories, Melissa said to go back to number 7, remembering a past achievement. I don't like remembering, says Melissa. Some memories are very painful. Girl, I got some serious memories. Yeah. Oh, Yana left and logged back in. So much better. Okay. Thanks for going. Grab your coffee. Yeah. The memories can be, yeah, I've had community coffee too, Brendan. I didn't know I was from Louisiana. So some memories, don't focus on the bad memories. I got oodles of bad memories. You know, people look, and again, it's one of those things, people look at my life and they go, oh my gosh, you were Miss Michigan National Teenager, and you worked at the Weather Channel, and you know, you worked with Mel Gibson on The Passion, and you did all these amazing things. With the highest of highs comes the lowest of lows. I've had some pretty doggone scraping bottom of the barrel lows in my life as well. And I try not to think about those. But isn't it interesting that Carrie brought this up? Isn't it interesting? I think it was Carrie. Sorry if it wasn't. That when we remember things, what are sometimes the first things we remember is the horrible things. So when we look to the future, the science have done studies on these as well. When we look to the future, we see positive. But often when we look into the past, it's the negative things that we see. Yes, I did work with Mel Gibson. I was on the marketing team for The Passion with Mel Gibson. Yeah, so it was an awesome time. It was funny because for those 7 months I was flying back and forth from Dallas to Santa Monica, and I told one person and it went out like wildfire, and I was getting calls from Poland. I got a call from Poland. Somebody asked if I could get an autographed picture of Mel Gibson for their dying grandfather. So I couldn't tell anybody. So I'm sitting here working, and I would fly out to California, and people all critical of me. I was flying out to California, and I was leaving my children behind. And I was like, hey, I couldn't tell anybody. I'm working with Mel Gibson, for heaven's sakes. Hey, good morning, Debbie. You're out in Debbie is got this great conference going on right now out in, I think you're in Salt Lake City right now, aren't you, Debbie? Women's Leadership Live. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you check it out. It looks like it's going to be an amazing event. And I really wish I could have been out there in Salt Lake City with you, but, you know, cancer. So, all right, more self-care tips. Remembering that past achievement is number 7. Number 8, fixing yourself a healthy meal. Don't go into the junk food. Fix yourself something super healthy. And, Debbie, if you can put a link to your event, put it here in the comments area so people can check out Women's Leadership Live, especially because I know some of the people that are on the call are on the live are out in that area. Sugar will give you a high, but then you get a crash. Same thing with alcohol. So a lot of times if we're not feeling really good about ourselves, what do? We reach for ice cream, or we reach for a Snickers bar, we reach for things that aren't good for us. And it's almost like it's a comfort food. You know, the strange things, I cook everything from scratch, and, you know, a weird comfort food for me is like the 35-cent of macaroni and cheese, that little 35-cent box or whatever. I don't know why. Maybe it was from college. I don't know. I'll have to somehow do like a recessive therapy type of thing. But focusing on good food, Fix yourself something healthy, because after healthy food is when you feel the best about yourself. And then you don't feel guilty, because a lot of times if you're feeling depressed and you reach for the ice cream, what happens? You eat it, you're feeling good. It's like short-term gain, long-term pain. So reach for something healthy, fix yourself healthy foods. Number 9, stay away from negative people. Come join us for Coffee with Colleen, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. London, midnight in Melbourne. Ice cream isn't good for you, Anne. I know, the protein, the calcium. You know, that reminds me of Bill Cosby, chocolate cake for breakfast. Wheat, eggs, it's got to be good, right? So, yeah, ice cream, sorry. So stay away from negative people. And that means you too, in your own head. Stay away from negativity in your own head. Focus on the positive. The world is negative enough. We don't need that. Focus on the positive. Maybe you have to stay off the internet. Maybe you have to stay off Facebook. If you're tempted to compare yourself to others, then that was number 1. Remember, don't compare. So staying off. Stick to European dark chocolate. Yes, dark chocolates are very healthy. Brendan says, you say your life was a sprinkled dough with a hole in the middle, like an eclair. It's like an eclair cream filled, yeah. So stay away from that negativity, because negativity releases the wrong type of hormones into your bloodstream. So Sherry's going to look and see if she has any healthy food in her cupboard. Watch less TV might be that as well. And tip number 10, guess what? You are enough. Stop looking at the negative things about yourself. Like I said, when I'm working with clients and working with as their stylist or their image consultant, the first thing they do is say, I don't like this about myself. That's the first thing they'll tell me. I don't like this. Help me hide this. I said, well, what do you like? What do you think is your best feature? Let's focus on that. It's the same thing. You are valuable. You are loved. You are enough. Stop saying, I'm not good enough. Stop saying, I am this or that. Focus on the good things. God gave you wonderful qualities that he wants you to share with the world, or share with your family, or share with the cashier. Not everybody is meant to lead the parade. Somebody's got to be sweeping up the behind the elephants, right? Janet says, stay away from negativity and drama. Yeah. Brings out the glow in your family. Yes, sadly, I can't stay away from entire negativity. Pam says you can't totally stay away from the negativity, and that's very true. But again, it takes 10 positives to outweigh 1 negative. Here's my little warnings talking about storage again, and I deleted everything. And I actually bought iCloud storage yesterday. It does take 10 positives to get rid of 1 negative. So you can't totally stay away from the negativity, because life and the world is full of negativity. But where can you focus on more positivity? And it starts with gratitude. You know, looking for the good things in life and focusing on gratitude. Julie Marie says we talk to ourselves more than anybody else, so we shouldn't make those conversations with ourselves so negative. Very, very true. You know, talk to your guardian angel, talk to God, and just know that you are valuable, you are loved, and who you are is enough. Compare yourself to yourself. Are you better today than you were yesterday? All right, so those, I haven't been watching the time. Oh, see, I'm trying to make these shorter. I really am. All right, so the top 10 tips again, and then we'll wrap it up so you can get on your day. Negativity, says Teresa, building cortisol, inflammation, hormone imbalance, besides unhappiness. Absolutely. Oh, good. I'm glad that touched you, Janet. Janet says that almost gave me tears. You needed to hear it. Your chant for today is, I am loved, I am worth it, I am special. Absolutely. So the top 10 tips for self-care. Number 1, stop comparing. Stop comparing yourself to others. And number 2, accept. Have a great day, Sherry. Love you. Oh, thank you. You're valuable to me too. I love my sister. Stop comparing is number 1. Number 2, accept. You can't control everything. Sometimes you just have to accept where things are right now and do what you can. Number 3, focus on gratitude. 3 things in the morning and 3 things at night. If you can't, just start with one. Just start with one thing in the morning, and then at the end of the night, as you're laying there in bed, saying your prayers or whatever you do at night, just focus on one thing that you're grateful for that happened during the day. Number 4, give compliments to others. When you compliment others, your brain doesn't know the difference, and it's like giving compliments to yourself. Number 5, hugs. Give 8 hugs a day for 20 seconds each. Build up to it if you have to, but start giving more hugs to people. Number 6, laugh. Laughter is the best medicine. Laugh as much as you can. Number 7, focus and remember and relive a past achievement, something wonderful that happened in your life in the past. Just close your eyes, get into that emotion, and really, really feel it and relive that moment and know that it is possible. Number 8, fix yourself a healthy meal. And this morning, bulletproof coffee. I'll talk about that probably in another one, but focusing on giving yourself a healthy meal. Don't get yourself junk. Short-term gain, long-term pain. Number 9, stay away from negative people or negativity as much as possible. And number 10, just be the best you that you can today, this morning, for the next hour, at this moment. And stop comparing yourself to others, which rounds us back up to number 1 again. All right, so that's it for today's coffee chat. I hope these tips helped you. If you find that this is something valuable, please subscribe. At the end of this video, there'll be a little thing to subscribe to let you know that I'm going live. If you're watching the recording on YouTube or elsewhere, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Matter of fact, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, go over to my YouTube channel. I'm really close to 1,000, and at 1,000, YouTube releases me into some new special group. I don't know what it is, but I'd really like to hit 1,000. So if you found value in this, like and share, but also throw me up a prayer, would you? I would really appreciate your prayers and your love and your support. So thank you so much for being here this morning. Have a glorious and wonderful Thursday, and we will see you tomorrow morning with another issue of another topic. And of course, as always, I never know what it's going to be, because what I had planned for this morning, I didn't use, because this came across in one of those little memes that I saw. So take a deep breath and enjoy today. God bless you all. Love you. See you tomorrow. Bye now.